Hi guys, welcome to Monday Motivation. My name's Kaarle McCulloch and I'm a track sprinter in cycling. Today I'm going to take you through a mobility workout that I most commonly do before gym sessions, but I also do it on days off and on days when I might be feeling a little bit average from training. This sort of workout is really fantastic for any sort of person, particularly people who sit at a desk all day and you might be doing these sorts of things. It's very similar to what cyclists do. We spend a lot of time like this in our handlebars, so it's perfect for people who sit at a desk all day. Perfect for cyclists, and it's perfect for the everyday person. Don't forget to always remember your limits and make sure you consult a professional before you undertake any sort of training exercise. Alright, so to begin with guys, I recommend doing 5 to 10 minutes of really light aerobic exercise. So you can actually do this post a workout as well, so if you're already warm you can get straight into it. But if you haven't done anything, I recommend a walk, a run, even on the rowing machine in the gym, doing some household cleaning work, doesn't really matter, just as long as you're nice and warm and ready to go. So the first exercise is called sunrise arms. So I'm going to get you to lay on the ground and you're going to turn over to your right hand side. You're going to put your left knee up and you're going to hold it with your right hand. And then you're going to use your left hand to just reach around behind you to halfway and then back again. So this is going to help open up your chest area and also start to get some movement in your spinal area. You can do this 5 to 8 times or until you feel comfortable, and you can even hold it in a position if you're feeling a little bit tight. Don't forget to breathe, and then you can swap sides once you've done. Okay, so the next exercise is called the cat-cow. You're going to kneel on the ground and you're going to be on all fours, and what we're going to do is we're going to arch our back. This is the cat position, and then we're going to go down like this. So what we're looking for here is for the spine to be getting nice and limber, ready to do some more movement. Just think about your spine curling and then compressing. You can do this one 5 to 10 times. And again, if you feel like there's a spot that you just want to get a little bit more, just stay there. Okay, so the next one is called the supine cat-cow. So we're going to do the same thing, except this time we're going to be facing upwards. We're going to have our feet at hip width apart, and we're going to use our elbows to push down into the ground. Then we're going to lift our hips towards the sky, thinking about squeezing our glutes here. Then we're going to ease back down again, nice and slowly. You want to feel a nice contraction in your glutes and easing back down slowly. Again, you can do this one 5 to 10 times and making sure you get that nice, good burn. Okay, so the next exercise is called thread the needle. What we're going to do is we're going to go back into our all fours position again, and then we're going to use our right hand and we're going to look up to the sky to the right. Then we're going to take the right hand and go underneath and pressing down into the ground with the right hand. And we're going to move back up again and back down. Here you should feel a nice stretch through the back of your shoulder and also opening up your chest again through the front there. I'd recommend doing 5 on each side. This next exercise is called snow angels. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our hands and our arms flat on the ground, and the goal is to keep your elbows touching the ground and moving them up above your head, and as soon as your elbows can't stay on the ground, you're going to come back down again. So what you should find is that as you get a little bit further each time, you should be able to increase your range of motion. This is really, really good for shoulder health and to increase your flexibility and range of motion in the shoulder area. You can do this one 8 to 10 times. Don't forget not to go past the point where your elbows start to come off the ground. For me, on my right hand side, it's actually a little bit less than the left, so I'm only going to go as far as the right. All right, the next exercise is called mid-back rotation. So this is very similar to thread the needle, but it's just very specific to the middle section of the back. So we're gonna sit back on our heels here, and we're gonna put our hands on the ground. We're gonna take our right hand again up to our head, and we're gonna touch our right elbow to our left elbow, and then we're gonna follow our elbow up with our sight and turn as far as we can. Most people find this one a little bit more trickier than thread the needle because you're really limited in your range. So just go until where you feel comfortable and you're getting a nice stretch. You can hold it there, make sure you're breathing and coming back down in. Don't forget to do both sides as well. Another 5 to 10 here would be really good. All right, and the last exercise in our upper body circuit is called child's pose to chest open. So what we're going to do here is child's pose is a common yoga exercise. We're just going to have our arms reaching out in front of us, and we're going to just relax here in this position. You can move around a little bit. Then we're going to arch our back up like our cat-cow position, but this time we're going to look up to the sky and really open up our chest here. This is a fantastic one for people who sit at their computers all day. Arching back. Relax in this position and then coming back up again. Don't forget to breathe. It can be a bit tricky in this one because you don't want to, especially when you're right here. Take a nice deep breath, relax into it and coming back. You can do this one 4 to 5 times. Okay, so now we're going to start our lower body circuit. We're going to really focus on the hips here. This is very specific to cyclists. I need to generate all of my power through my hips and my glutes. So it's really important for me to make sure that I'm nice and mobile and moving freely through my hips. So the first exercise that we're going to do is called hip circles. We're going to go back down into the all fours again. And this time what we want to do is we want to take our right leg and we want to think about drawing a big circle with our knee. So we're going to go one way and then back the other. Thinking about keeping your tummy nice and tight, your core area. You don't want much movement through there. You just want the hip to be moving in the socket. So some people might only be able to get a small range of motion. That's okay. Over time, this will improve. When I first started doing this, I had very limited range of motion because I don't move in this range. But now I'm actually much more flexible. So you can do 3 each way, and then swap over to the other side. Okay, so the next exercise is called downward dog to pigeon pose. So again, this is taken from yoga exercises. What we're going to do is we're going to go up onto all fours here. Some people might not have the flexibility to have their legs straight, that's fine. You can bend your knees like this, just making sure that your shoulders are nice and strong and that your head is nice and relaxed. So what we're going to do here is we're going to push back, so we're getting a nice stretch through our hamstrings and our calf muscles. Then we're going to bring our right knee to our right hand, and we should be feeling a nice stretch through the glutes. So we're just going to stay there for a second and then back up. Press back and then take the left leg to the left hand. Getting a nice stretch through those glutes and a nice stretch to the hamstrings and calves. And right leg to right hand. Back up. You should feel over time that you'll get more range as you're going. And then back up. And then we're going to go straight into an elbow tap. So this time we're going to take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. We're going to get our elbow and we're going to try to touch the ground. Now if you can't touch the ground, that's fine. You might only just be able to go like this and keep your hand on the ground. That's okay. And our left foot to our left hand and a touch again. This is really good for your hip flexors, for your groins and for your adductor muscles. Now the last little exercise we're going to do in the hip circuit is called hip flow. For this one we're going to take a wide stance here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our right knee across to the side here, and you should feel a nice stretch down through your hip flexor. We're going to come back up again and down to the left side. Again, you should feel a nice stretch. If you are feeling good enough, you can start to actually bring your right arm up, and that will continue to increase the strength of the hip flexor stretch. Or you can just keep it down, your hands on your hips, and just keep it like this. From there, we're going to move straight into a sumo squat. So you're going to keep the same foot position. We're just going to come down. We're going to use our elbows on our knees and we're just going to sit here. This is a really nice passive release for your hips. And you can move around a little bit just to see if you can get any more range in there. You can come back up, give yourself a bit of a break, and back down again. You can hold this one for around about 30 seconds, making sure that if you need to, you're coming back up and giving yourself a break. From there, we're going to move straight down into an adductor stretch. So we're going to take our right foot out. And here, this is another passive stretch, but you can actually start to move your toes of your right foot around just to get a different angle on that adductor. This can be quite an intense exercise, so if you need to, bring your foot in a little bit and even bend your knee, just making sure that you go into what is your range. Then you can just go straight over to the left side, and again, moving those toes around. To end the circuit today, we're going to end with an eccentric sit-up. So a lot of people have problems walking around not activating their core enough. So what an eccentric sit-up does is it teaches your core muscles to actually stay switched on when you are just doing passive things like walking around. So what we're going to do is we're just going to be in a sit-up position, feet nice and flat on the ground, and you're going to think about just going back nice and slowly. You can have your hands here just to help you. And what you want to do is you want to curl your spine down nice and slowly. And then the same thing on the way back up. Now this can be quite challenging, so if you can't come up slowly, feel free to help yourself come up. The most important part is this bit here, where you're just slowly lowering yourself down and then back up. And it should really burn or start to burn. I could only do a couple of those when I first started doing those. So it's just really important to make sure you do what you can do, and you'll be able to progress as you get better. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me today. I hope that you might have learnt something new. I definitely look forward to hopefully representing Australia at the Tokyo Olympics and to hear you cheering me on. Thank you.